Four, three, two, one, and we are live.
Hey there. Hello everyone. Hello everyone who's watching this interview with us. Vamos a hacer la entrevista, vamos a hacer la introducción en español. We're gonna just make this introduction in Spanish so our viewers can understand it, and then we're gonna change in English, okay?
Okay.
So, pues hola a toda la gente que ahí está conectada. Un saludo a toda la gente que se va conectando. Nosotros somos Organic Plug, el medio de comunicación digital que apoya y promueve toda la escena musical emergente. Yo soy Juan Pablo.
Yo soy Mariano.
Y en esta ocasión tenemos al invitado. We have our guest here, Felix Laband, all the way from... I think he's stuck.
No, I'm here.
Hello. We have now our guest here, Felix Laband, all the way from South Africa. How are you?
I'm super good, man. Thank you.
I'm super excited to interview Felix Laband.
We've been like talking about making this interview for what, like 2 weeks, more or less?
Yeah.
It was crazy because I found your Facebook page and we found your WhatsApp number there. So we were like, okay, let's see if maybe he answers. And suddenly I received your message. Yes, I'm Felix Laband. Who is this? And I was like, no, this cannot be happening.
Super excited.
Yeah. Sorry it took a while, man. I was away. I didn't want to tell you where I was, but I was somewhere. So yeah, so it took a while I didn't have my phone for a while. So yeah.
No, it's a great moment when you make a technology detox. It's necessary.
Yep.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about who is Felix Laband. You've been on this music business for over like more than 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's begin when you first came across with music.
Shit, man. I first came across music when I was pretty young, I suppose. Like I grew up in South Africa, and when I was young, it was apartheid, which was like the time when the country was very segregated and this and that. So music was quite an important thing for me to kind of like I don't know, just sort of find myself. So that was probably when I was about like 14, 15, I started playing in punk bands.
Right.
So I was in bands for kind of the whole way through school.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Perfectly.
Cool. So yeah, so that went on until I finished school, and then kind of like when I finished school, it was in 95, so it was kind of the beginning of the new South African, and it's kind of exciting times. And I started getting into electronic music, and yeah, it just kind of like snowballed. You know, I kind of released my first album around about 2001. And that was kind of an album, Stint Shoes in June. It's kind of more like sort of like trip hop, hip hop based, you know. But whilst I was young, I kind of I listened to a lot of music, you know, not just electronic music, all sorts of stuff, you know, jazz, classical music, African music. So yeah, my influences were quite broad, you know, and as I kind of progressed, I suppose releasing more albums, you know, my style became a bit more unique, you know. Yeah, and it's taken me sometimes quite a long time to release some of the albums. Like the time between Dark Days Exit and Def Safari took about 10 years.
All right.
But it's because I don't really kind of ever really want to release anything that I don't think is really good, you know. So I haven't kind of just been like releasing, you know. I've kind of been. I mean, at the moment, I'm sort of in the stages of possibly releasing some new stuff, but I've been working on it for quite some time. You know, I've been quite like quite sort of, I don't know, just kind of lost. You know, music has sort of reached quite a weird stage. You know, and I don't really know how much I really stand amongst it, but I kind of think I'm almost ready. I think I want to do a new EP kind of soon. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
In fact, Dead Safari is my favorite album of yours. I like a lot the song about the ding dong thing. I love that song. I love it.
Yeah. So let me explain that song to you. So
yeah, please.
So we have a president here. Well, we had a president called Jacob Zuma.
Okay.
And he was not a very he was not a very good president. He kind of like ruined our country.
All right.
He stole lots of money and stuff like that. So basically, the beginning, I sampled it off television. It was him because he was in court many a times. You know, like at one point he was accused of rape, which he got away with. Yeah.
All right.
Another point, he was accused of stealing lots of money for buying arms and stuff. So that's basically him justifying himself. You know, he's kind of going like. What does he say? Like everyone says this is a ding dong thing, but it's kind of him talking about himself in the third person, you know. So I sampled that, and then just kind of the rest of and some of the other samples from there are from. There's a guy who used to do a lot of like field recordings in America called Alan Lomax. Early like recordings in the sort of 20s and 30s of like. Negro prisons and stuff like that. So there's some vocal samples that I used from there. And just kind of the samples for me in my music are quite important. You know, they're often like they're quite specific.
It's like a political.
Exactly. It's kind of like a political statement on our country, but sort of it's done in a kind of like tongue-in-cheek way where like it's kind of it seems quite like frivolous, but it's not really, it's kind of saying quite a lot,
yeah I get it.
Sure. We were talking about right before we went on air, we were chatting that we were talking about how did you begin on this music production, either it's electronic music back in the beginning of 2000s when you made Thin Shoes in June.
Yeah.
And because it was, as I heard in a previous interview you had, it was like production, like more or less like they make rap or hip hop kind of things, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't like due to my age and whatever, I didn't have like computers and stuff when I was at school, so I first started messing around with production, using drum machines and things like that. So when I made that, I'd been introduced to kind of a program called Acid, actually, which is like the precursor to Ableton. People think that Ableton is the program that sort of invented the stretching of audio and stuff, but actually it was a program called Acid. And it was very simple, it was kind of, I just used to sample stuff from records, make loops, and kind of... it was a kind of fun time for me, to be honest, because I wasn't very like I did that whole album on like with a shitty PC with like maybe like 4 gigs of RAM and like 4 gig hard drive and it was kind of simple, but it was kind of beautiful, like it's kind of like the more I've learned about production, the more difficult it's become for me,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I see the illustrations of your albums. I love the art of your albums. It's like cutouts, and it's I think it's beautiful the way you make your art in the albums. Do you make it, or you have an artist that collaborate with you?
I make everything myself, because for me, like making music or whatever, like you can't just be into making music. You got to be into also like reading books, watching films, making art. For me, like art is everything. It's all the same thing. It's kind of like it's all collage. That's kind of like my medium. Making music is collage, making collage is collage. So it's all kind of tied together. And I'm actually a visual artist as well. I do exhibitions in galleries and stuff like that with my collage. So it's it's quite an exciting time for me because I'm kind of like 1 foot in music, 1 foot in art, and I also make video stuff as well. So I'm kind of but it just keeps me excited about being creative, because I think sometimes when you put all your energy into one medium, it's a little bit it can be a little bit
Like a
hectic,
yeah.
Mm.
So as you make in your art and your music, you take political statements, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also take a lot of stuff from kind of old films and a lot of stuff from like live television. I'll just put like a plug into the headphone socket, and just record out, that kind of thing.
Great. That would be great. So, okay. Why? Well, you already told us that in the difference in between whistling in the tongues and Def Society was like 9-10 years in difference.
Yeah, it was, man. It was. Look, I mean, I've also had like a lot of kind of issues in my life, with things like drugs and shit like that. So I've had years where I've kind of just been trying to sort my own shit out, and then I've had years where maybe I've fucking sold all my equipment, or so kind of been this ongoing kind of thing. But I've managed to always stay working, which has kind of kept me going. But I don't regret anything. It's kind of like if it took you 10 years, it took 10 years. And sometimes you need like a growth in yourself in order for your music to grow. So that's kind of how it's been.
All right.
Great. So when do you think that Felix Laband changed from being an underground artist onto being on the spotlight?
I don't know. I still really consider myself an underground artist, to be honest with you, because I've never really toured that much, and I've never really kind of it's kind of like I've stayed pretty much in South Africa. I haven't really. I know my music's it's out there. Obviously, Spotify and all these things have kind of grown everything, but I still pretty much consider myself an underground artist. And I'd like to stay that way because I've seen what happens to friends who kind of get into sort of like a more like mainstream pop thing, and I think it kind of fucks with your head. So I really enjoy kind of not without the stress of that kind of I like to just kind of do what I do and not really give a fuck about what anybody thinks about it, just do my thing. That's kind of how I like to stay. Yeah, but I mean, of course, I'm looking forward to traveling again. Hopefully, I can travel, and I mean, I'm excited to kind of. I've played in South America before. I've just played in Brazil and Argentina, which was really cool. So that was actually probably one of my favorite tours I ever did. Played in Sao Paulo and then Buenos Aires. But yeah, I'd love to start touring again. Yeah, love to come. I've also heard it's really cool in Colombia as well.
All right. In the beginning of the interview, you said that you are making a new EP, a new album.
Yeah.
When we gonna see that album released?
So like I have probably like enough new tracks for like about fucking 20 albums.
All right.
But, I just need to like spend some time with like a sober mind and kind of go through everything and work out what I want to do. And I think maybe like the EP thing might suit me a little bit better at this point in time, just to get something out, because I think if I was trying to do a new album, I'd probably get all like, hectic about it and I want it to be perfect. And I think that's sort of holding me back. So I think I might just do some EPs for now, maybe like just on vinyl, like maybe like 4 or 5 tracks each. And so I've been kind of messing around in all sorts of spaces. I've been doing all this weird stuff with like classical music, and then I've been doing all this weird stuff that's kind of a little bit more kind of like hard and street, and so I've been battling to kind of like work out how I'm going to put it all into one cohesive album, So right. I think it might be wiser to kind of do some more EPs and shit like that,
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
For people who is not familiar with your work, with your music work, how would you consider to explain it? Because you have long songs. Your songs are quite like 7 or like 8 even 10 minutes long.
I just suppose I would just describe my music as kind of like it's like kind of it's like emotive stories, you know. It's not really like songs, you know, as in pop songs. It's kind of like it's almost like they're little like films, you know, with kind of beginnings and endings and, you know, that kind of stuff. And what seems to be cool is that it seems like, you know, I'm lucky that a lot of people listen to my stuff, you know, as opposed to just being like club music and that kind of thing, you know. And that's, you know, for me, the type of music that has kind of you know, left impressions on me is music that I'll, you know, listen to late at night, you know, and that's the type of music that I suppose I've kind of been making, you know. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I think your image froze, but we can hear you perfectly right now.
Oh shit, man, sorry.
No
Okay.
problem. So, Felix Laband has been on the scene, on the music scene for more than like 20 years now. But we would like to know on the difference on Mexico. How's the music business over there in South Africa?
Yeah, you know, I have to say we have a really interesting music scene here. In my opinion, the really good music is mostly made by kind of African artists, you know. We have like a really good like house music scene and a really good like kwaito scene. Unfortunately, we don't have like many venues and stuff like that, you know. And there's obviously, you know, we're a third world country, so there's not like huge amounts of money in this and that. But there's certainly like great taste, you know. And it's a very unique, interesting scene, you know. So I'm pretty proud of it. But I mean, you know, it's mostly kind of like, I mean, music is life here. I don't know how to describe it, you know, but people live in like, you know, like really dire conditions, you know, in shacks and this and that. But like, you know, everyone like music is the thing that brings people together, and people are like dancing from the time they're like 2-3 years old. You know, the way people can dance here and stuff is so beautiful. And music's an important thing for South Africa, you know. So yeah.
That's good.
That's how it's.
And I have one question I love to ask is, why do you decide to make music? What artist, what song, what album do you hear that make you love music and make music?
Shit, that's a difficult question. Well, I'll tell you what. Like, I went to like study fine art initially, and at the time I was just kind of like, I felt it was like a very like a medium that didn't include like everybody. You know, it's kind of like it was just for sort of like you know, kind of like a certain, you know, elitist kind of group. You know, and music kind of for me is a beautiful thing. You know, it's kind of like it can. You know, especially in South Africa where we've had, you know, racial tensions and stuff, you know, it can bring people together. But in terms of what inspired me, I've got to say probably like Aphex Twin and stuff like that, you know, that kind of came out when I was at school, and it just like blew my mind, you know. I mean, before that I was into kind of like bands and punk music, but in terms of electronic music, it was definitely artists like Aphex Twin, you know, and artists like Kid Loco from Paris, artists like that, you know, kind of in the early days of labels like Warp Records and Ninja Tune and that kind of stuff, you know, that really kind of got my heart, and I suppose got me into electronic music, you know. But these days my tastes are quite broad. Like I'm you know, at the moment I've been listening to a lot of like music concrete, you know. There's kind of like a whole new wave of like music concrete, so that's pretty experimental stuff, but I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, blowing my mind away a little bit, you know. And I've been listening to a lot of weird, like, you know, kind of contemporary classical stuff, and
nice.
Yeah, you know. But I also listen to like hip hop. I listen to all sorts of shit, you know what I mean? So
good,
pretty open minded. Yeah,
it's quite funny because, you know, Mariano is the one who likes a lot like hip hop music, and I like more house music, and it's like the complete perfect bond in between the both of them.
Yeah. Well, I love house music too. I mean, you got to understand, like, house music here is like fucking huge thing, you know? Like,
Wow.
it's on the radio all the time. When you go in any taxi, it's fucking good, deep house music, you know? So people live and breathe that shit here, you know? So it's you should come to South Africa, man. Check it out. You'll dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love to
We
go
would
to
love
South
to go.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
What's your thoughts on the difference in between music back in the days and now that it's been on streaming platforms?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous to give my opinion because it probably sounds a little jaded, but yeah, it kind of saddens me a little bit. Like I just feel that like before you had to earn your rights to kind of like release an album and this and that, and therefore the music was generally like a pretty high standard. Whereas these days, you know, there's just so much stuff, and it's kind of like I can imagine like somebody like, you know, like listening to my album and literally with their mouse clicking, you know, if they click on the wrong fucking part and they hear it for 5 seconds, they may not ever listen to you ever again, you know. And when I was younger, you know, we used to buy records and stuff, and like, you know, like, and it was quite difficult to get music in South Africa because of apartheid, you know. So like, you'd order something, and when you got it, like, even if you didn't understand it completely, you'd listen to it until you did, you know. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's benefits to how music is available today. I mean, it's certainly benefiting me in many ways, you know, Spotify and this and that. And I mean, I don't even have Spotify, to be honest. I don't even like. I don't have iTunes, anything. I kind of try and find music myself because then it means a lot more to me. So I use a thing called SoulSeek, which is kind of like a file sharing thing between other producers, you know, around the world and stuff like that. And certainly, like, I've discovered a lot of music recently that's kind of been like, wow, it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, shit, we're just in a weird space with everything, you know, with this whole social media thing and whatever. It's kind of a crazy time, you know. So I'm trying to be positive, but sometimes I can get pretty jaded about it. But I'm trying not to feel that way at the moment too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought that there would be a great question with you, given your political statements and all that, and given the fact that you've been for so many years all the way in the music business. So they will be a great question for us to talk about. There's another question that we like to ask everyone who's been here with us. That it's been, can you name like three gigs that have been like really emblematic or something so special for you? It's been like, I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody got on stage and turned off your deck or anything.
Okay, so let me think about it. So yeah, the one gig that was super special. I was in Switzerland and I had to do like this festival, and it just kind of didn't really gel. And then the guys who brought me over and my girlfriend at the time, Lauren, who I'd been with for quite a long time, we ended up doing a gig in this old like 15th century wine cellar to maybe about like I don't know, like 10 people or something like that. And that was a really, really special gig. And that was actually recorded and is on my SoundCloud. It's called it's one of the podcasts. But that was a super gig. And then another gig that was really great. Let me think. Yeah, you know Sonar from Barcelona?
Nope.
No, so.
It's like it's a big festival there. They came through to South Africa. I played that gig. It was just a good gig. I was like kind of like I was sober and a lot of love from the audience. That was a great gig. Man, I've done some fucked up gigs too, to be honest, where I've done some really crazy shit. But you know, that's just how life goes. But let me think. Where else? Yeah, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed playing also. Let me think about this, man. It's a difficult question. I've kind of played, you know, quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, I just really enjoyed actually playing in Sao Paulo, to be honest.
Whoa.
It was a super vibe, you know, like great people. I kind of like felt quite like related a lot. You know, we kind of got similar cultures and stuff, you know, and yeah, that was great. So you know, it's kind of like that question of like, you're about to die, what like flashes before your mind. I don't know. Those 3 gigs were pretty good, So yeah, I enjoyed them.
Come on and tell us one of those fucked up gigs that you've mentioned.
The most emblematic.
There's too many to mention, bro. Yeah, I can sometimes get in quite like a bad headspace, Like sometimes maybe if I've got to like play for a whole bunch of fucking kids and stuff like that, and they all just like like just want this like kind of like like fucking bass and shit, and then maybe I'll just like just give them the complete opposite and clear the dance floor. But I've had some gigs where like maybe I've been a little bit too intoxicated or whatever, and maybe like falling asleep on the decks or something. But yeah, I've done some crazy gigs, but most of the time, the kind of gigs I also really, 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 really enjoy, to be honest with you, is I enjoy sometimes just DJing, and I enjoy DJing to kind of like a bit of an older audience, where I can kind of really mix things up and go from electronic music into jazz, into punk, into all over, and
Nice.
And it's appreciated because the audience is knowledgeable of music, and I really enjoy those kind of gigs. So yeah, I've had some good ones like that.
Do you plan to make a live in the future, like Felix Laband live in Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or all the platforms?
No, man. To be honest with you, like especially during this lockdown thing, watching these motherfucking people like twist their fucking treble knobs for an hour I'd rather like fucking shoot myself, So like, I'm kind of it's kind of I want to actually. I kind of want to actually be working more, kind of doing gigs in kind of like more art spaces and things like that. Where I can kind of get more creative, and you know what I mean. I sort of get. I mean, I'm 43 now, so I'm kind of at the age where like I don't really want to be like like 4 a.m, like banging away. It's kind of I kind of want to like. Just be able to express myself a little bit more and do more interesting things. And so that's kind of where I'm sort of trying to head with things in the future,
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So let's talk about the future for Felix Laband. What do you think is coming for your project or yourself for in the future? Maybe 2020 or 2021?
Okay, well, so right now, so right now I'm just kind of I'm concentrating on kind of like getting myself into a state where I can tour again, and just I kind of want to be like sober from now on, to be honest with you, because I've spent a lot of my life like getting fucked up, and it's all fun and games, but it's crap, So I'm kind of concentrating on that, and I'm also concentrating a lot on my art, because I'm kind of I'm finding it quite a lot easier to express myself making art than I have been making music, But my plan is to basically, I want to move maybe to Berlin or something like that, Kind of have quite a lot of friends there, and from there I just kind of want to, do some like tours, while I'm still before I'm in a wheelchair, do some tour. Yeah, I really want to come to like to South America. I want to do Japan. I want to do. Mexico. I really want to go to Russia.
Mexico.
Well, Mexico, exactly, bro. Love Mexico. So love Mexico. I've just actually had some friends of mine, some artists that were there recently. They told me it was amazing, and I'd love to come to Mexico. Like, you need to hook me up, man. Yeah.
All
so
right.
I'll hook me up. I'll come there in like a minute. I'd love to. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get myself so that when I can come on tour, I'm responsible, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I'm loving it, enjoying myself. So that's kind of my plan,
That's good. That's very good.
That's very good. And well, we congratulate you for being sober for how many have you been sober up to now?
It's not that long. It's about like nearly 4 weeks. But yeah. But I've tried it before, but I'm just kind of this time around. I'm doing
it's a great effort. Come on.
Yeah. It's good. Thanks.
So let me just check if has any Anybody made any comments or any questions on the live stream?
Wenson
Okay,
Walsall
sure.
make send hearts, and Emiliano Aranda say Master Laband.
You have tons of followers over here in Mexico. Just so you
Really?
know. Yeah.
Really, man. Shit, man. Well, I'd love to come play there, man. I'd love to. I mean, I'd much rather come to like Mexico than I'd rather go, go to fucking America or something. Fuck that, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we're coming to an end or to our interview, but well, if you're okay with this, can you tell us how to find you on social media?
Yeah, you just put my name in, like Felix Laband, and I mean, like my Facebook. To be honest, I haven't really kind of like I haven't really been there too much, but Instagram I'm there. So yeah, Instagram I'm there. And if anyone needs to like email me or anything like that, it's just felixlaband@gmail. And yeah, I'll try as hard as I can to answer. I'm pretty bad with I'm trying to get better with answering everything, but I promise to try. And yeah, as I said, I'd love to come to Mexico. It would be like a dream come true. Yeah. So that would be cool.
All right.
Also, we would like to tell people that they can find you on every music platform, even SoundCloud.
Yeah, they can. So obviously, my record label is Compost Day in Germany. So yeah, I'm pretty much on everything, like iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. But my SoundCloud, I'm planning on kind of making it a lot more personal. I kind of want to take down some of the record label stuff, and I kind of want to put up, like different variations and mixes that I've done personally, So that's kind of my plan for the next little while. Whilst I work on, keeping my shit together, I'm just going to slowly start putting up, because I have so many fucking mixes and shit and crazy fucking versions that I've kind of been keeping to myself, which I think I'm going to start releasing. So it should be kind of soon. Yeah. So yeah, check out the SoundCloud, and there should be some good shit soon.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, Felix Laband, we love having you here in Organic Plug, and thank you for the interview. We hope you...
Yeah, thank you guys, man. It was super great to meet you, and really appreciate it. It was actually really, really dope. And yeah, I hope to meet you guys in person one day.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Felix, thank you very much for everything, even the time. Over there, for people who doesn't know, he's like 9:30 p.m. at night. So we have a 7-hour difference, and he made an hour on his schedule just to talk with us. So Felix, thank you very much, and thank everybody who has been online on this interview.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'll share this now as well. Just let me know how.
Sure. No problem. También muchísimas gracias a toda la gente que se estuvo conectando. Muchísimas gracias. Yo soy Juan Pablo Algo.
Yo soy Mariano.
Nosotros somos Organic Plug, la conexión orgánica de la música. Bye bye.
Cheers, guys.